Big things are coming to Frisco in 2018. The Town Council recently approved the budget for next year, and high on the priority list are infrastructure improvements and affordable housing. The Frisco Bay Marina is getting a master plan, the Frisco Peninsula Recreation Area will get new trails, and even the Town Public Works Department is getting a brand new and long-delayed building. All of that is happening as Frisco policymakers get creative with affordable housing. The town is more than 90% built out, meaning that empty plots just 1 or 2 blocks off Main Street are in high demand and hotly contested. To explain the highlights from the 2018 budget, we sat down with Assistant Town Manager Diane McBride. She discusses what's already in motion, what's to come, and how it all fits in the big picture for Summit's most central community. Phil Lindeman, Krystal 93 News Director, in the studio today with Diane McBride. She is Assistant Town Manager and Director of Recreation and Culture for Town of Frisco. Diane, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Phil. It's great to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Town Council has been very busy. The 2018 budget was recently passed and approved, and there are some pretty interesting items on there, starting with stuff close to your own heart in the Recreation Department, the Marina. Big changes coming to the Marina. Talk a little bit about what will be happening there.
Yeah, we got 2 big projects coming at the Marina. The first one being the redesign and the build of a new office building. So I know bathrooms and offices aren't always the most exciting things to talk about, but for us, it's very exciting. So that will be happening in 2018. We're looking at that as a fall project. And then we also have the Marina Master Plan starting up. So we're going to be working with a company known as, they're called Logan Simpson. Big firm, wonderful, wonderful work that they do, and really trying to look at the marina as a whole. So not just the waterfront, but also everything that surrounds the marina. So you're talking about parking and trails and connectivity to Main Street and the intersection there of Summit Boulevard and Main Street. So how does that all fit together? How do you just, plan for what the future holds for the entire marina?
Yeah, and remind me, how long has the marina been around? It's been around for
quite some time.
Yeah.
The town started operating it just over 10 years ago. So before that, though, it was a private concessionaire who ran it for many, many years.
Okay, gotcha. But now the town, like you said, it's time for some improvements, some upgrades, not just for office space, but also for the amenities that are being offered there. When it comes to kind of what's budgeted out for that, how will the phasing go on that? Do you know yet? Or is it still really in the planning process?
Yeah, we like to really start with the master plan. So that will be the first phase of this. That will be for 2018. And then out of the master plan, what we hope to work with the consultant on are those phasing options that you've talked about. What comes out of this? How do we budget for it accordingly? And how do we just plan for that growth in the future? So you won't see a lot of changes happening in 2018, except for that building redesign and remodel, which is very exciting. We're working with Matthew Stace Architects on that, and they've just been fantastic to work with, and we're excited about what that product's going to look like.
Beautiful new marina building. It'll be fun to see that. But over at the Adventure Park, again, recreation, some other big things coming to recreation, possibly new skate park?
You got it. Yeah, very excited about that as well. The skate park that we have there has served us quite well, and it's in need of an upgrade, if you will. So we are going to be working with a company to do a design build of that skate park as well. That project hopefully starting as soon as the snow melts, and then construction will take place for the bulk of the summer months. Oh. But the exciting part about that is that we'll be starting that process, the community outreach process, this winter season. Okay,
so people can keep an eye out on what they might want to see there at the skate park. I was going to ask, is it going to stay, the wood like you guys have now, or could there possibly be some bowls going in there?
That is completely up to what the community wants. So we're going to be working with the community as well as then the design team to really come up with a park that people want to skate, that they want to be a part of, and we're very excited about that as well.
Great, very cool. What's the feedback been like, on the Adventure Park just in general, though, like the skate park and all those amenities people have?
It's been absolutely great. The tubing hill itself is open at this point in time. We opened on Thanksgiving Day and will continue to be open now for the winter season. Just a wonderful, wonderful amenity. Across the street from the Adventure Park, we've got the Nordic Center. The Nordic Center has been doing exceptionally well. Also open up at this point in time with a small patch of snow and hoping to extend that by this weekend as well.
Yeah, you can only work so much with Mother Nature, right? If it's going to be 45 degrees during the day every day.
It is. It's a little tough, I got to tell you. A little tough. Yep. It is.
Yeah, but things are getting going, and along with Wassail Days, there will also be some things going on at the Nordic Center.
There will be. Yep, we've got free skiing over at the Nordic Center next week, as well as free tubing, as well as free sleigh rides, Cocoa sleigh rides.
Oh, very cool! All sorts of free over at the Frisco Adventure Center. And then again, back to the 2018 budget. Another hot button topic that has been, talked about for a while now is the Trails Master Plan and updates to trails and paths around Frisco. How do those fit into the budget? What are some of the big changes that could be coming next year for trails?
Yeah, so we've been looking at a couple different options there. We did approve the Trails Master Plan in March of 2017, and off of that plan, then we were able to budget accordingly for 2018. So you'll see some improvements to the trails out at the Peninsula Recreation Area. So that is both summer mountain biking, trail running, as well as then winter Nordic skiing. So we're working on those. We did some of that work this summer. We'll continue that next summer. And then we're also doing some work just on some connectivity in terms of pathways themselves. So one of the big ones we've got is the 2nd and Belford connector. So that is, if you picture 2nd Avenue, that goes from Main Street out to the Peak 1 neighborhood, and then Belford, which goes from the Peak 1 neighborhood down to the Frisco Elementary School. You'll see a bike pathway improvement next summer as well.
Okay, great. New bike paths. Now, I know that over on the peninsula, they had obviously the new connector when the Dickey Day use area got changed over for the Iron Springs project. Any new trails coming to the peninsula, or is it just kind of redoing what's been done out there already? Yeah,
so good question. Yes, with that relocation of the Dickey Trailhead, we definitely ran into just a unique opportunity here to look at those trails a little bit differently. We have been working very closely with the Forest Service to determine what some of those different changes should actually be. The bulk of the land that you have out there is on U.S. Forest Service property. So we're working with them very closely at this point in time to reroute some of those trails, realign some of those trails. What we have done on the Town of Frisco trails themselves is we added a new trail this summer that went behind the Water Dance neighborhood, and that was a trail then that connected. It's partway done right now, and the goal will be to do a 5K loop that will be a nice connector on
great.
Town of Frisco property.
Very cool. I was going to say, I don't think I've been on that trail yet.
Yeah, it's nice.
Looking forward to that new connector out there, because of course the peninsula, it's just packed with trails. And as you get new as you get new approvals from the Forest Service for summer trails, does that also mean new trails can then be done for the Nordic Center?
It does. They do go hand in hand, and so we're really trying to, as we work with the Forest Service in terms of what the future of these trails look like, we really do want to make sure that we're addressing both winter and summer uses out there. The other thing that was really cool that we did this past summer is we did a little bit of realignment of a trail, which then led to a realignment of the disc golf course. So, the big thing there, if you've ever run out there or biked out there, it was a little bit of a mixed use going on there. You had some disc golfers throwing discs right in the pathway of where the mountain biking trails and hiking trails were. So we realigned things so that disc golfers have their space, the ability to play, and the mountain bikers, hikers, joggers, you name it, have their space as well.
Yeah, enough room for everybody out there.
Yep.
Now, also in the 2018 budget, of course, it's been a hot topic all across the county, affordable housing. And Frisco has run into a few snags with affordable housing, most notably with the Mary Ruth Place and the fact that there just was no contractors willing to kind of work within the budget that the town had. How did the town, maybe revisit some of these things to try and get affordable housing, kick-started?
Yeah, so affordable housing, just like for everyone else across the county, it is one of the hottest topics. It is one of the highest priorities for our town council. And so we did reevaluate what we were doing with the Mary Ruth project, and we are now moving forward with that project as well, working with, we have not yet made a decision in terms of who we're going to be working with, but we re-released the RFP to really try and get some other individuals interested in the project. So that will be coming here soon. The goal is to continue to build that Mary Ruth project this spring, summer, fall season. So that's very exciting. And then we've also got two other pieces of property that we're really working with right now. Same type of thing, trying to work with someone, a contractor, to really be able to develop two different sites in town that could be utilized for affordable housing.
Okay, and where are those two other sites?
One of them is right behind the Frisco Historic Park and Museum, and the other one is on the corner of 3rd and Granite.
Currently, right now, remind me, 3rd and Granite has a community center?
It does.
Okay,
correct.
3rd and Granite has a community center. And then back behind the historic park, what's there right now currently?
There's employee housing, Town of Frisco employee housing units.
Okay, Town of Frisco employee housing. And then the end goal with any of these projects is kind of giving affordable housing for Town of Frisco employees. I know that was also part of the Mary Ruth project, was Town of Frisco employees, and not just town employees, but employees who lived and worked in Frisco as well.
You're correct. You're correct. We know it's an issue for everyone at this point in time. So it is a mix of all different kinds of units, and we realize there's also just not one magical solution out there to solve what we've got going on. So we're looking at all kinds of different options, and yes, some of those Town of Frisco employees, also individuals who work in Frisco, also individuals just throughout the county.
Yeah, and Frisco, I'm sure, has to get a little more creative with how you do these things than some of the other places. Like Silverthorne still has, some room to roam and some place to expand, whereas Frisco almost completely built out at this point.
Correct. So it is being very creative about where we're looking for things. Our council has done a wonderful job of really trying to figure out, what properties do we have that are Town of Frisco owned properties, trying to start there first, and then looking at other just potentially vacant lands, things that might be changing here in the near future. So doing everything we possibly can to help address the issue. Okay,
great. Yeah, looking in, taking all angles into consideration there. Anything else on the 2018 budget that, is new or exciting or different that you would love people to know about?
I think for us personally, what's exciting is the Public Works building will be expanding. So I know for the general public that might not be exciting, but for us, Public Works does a tremendous job within the community. Exactly. So that's been on the budget many years, has gone through many different cuts over the years, and was just approved to move forward with that in 2018. I would say that's a big one for us.
Happy employees, happy town.
Yes.
Always great to expand out those services. And really just looks like Frisco is trying to do their best to keep up with things before they change, to kind of be ahead of the curve.
Most definitely so. I think for many years we put a lot of effort into our Frisco Main Street, and the Main Street Now project is done. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's great. And now our council's being very supportive of looking at everything else that we have in town and how do we continue just to make Frisco absolutely great.
Great. Diane McBride with Town of Frisco, thanks again for coming in to talk a little bit about the 2018 Frisco budget.
Most definitely. Thank you, Phil.
Great. Thanks, Diane. Phil Lindeman, Krystal 93.